What if everything you fear about yourself, your shame, your brokenness, your past, was the very thing that positioned you for grace? What if the king you thought wanted you dead had only been searching for you to give you life? What if the very legs that could not carry you became the evidence of a love that carries you anyway? Have you ever hidden from your destiny because of your weakness? Have you ever believed that your story was over? Have you ever felt exiled in the Lo-Debars of life, where nothing grows, nothing changes, and no one remembers you? Then you are about to discover a truth that shakes kingdoms. Your brokenness does not break God's covenant. Grace is coming for you, even if you try to hide. Before we delved deeper into Mephibosheth's story, you need to know something important. This is not just the story of a crippled man rescued by a king. This is the story of you. The wounds you never healed, the fears you don't tell anyone about, the shame that whispers you are not enough, the spiritual Lo-Debars where broken dreams hide. As you listen, you will learn how shame silently shapes your view of God, how one fall can affect your entire identity, and how God rewrites destinies you thought were ruined, that God remembers covenants made long before you were born, how to identify the voices that lie about your identity, how God restores what trauma, time, or people tried to steal. This story will heal you, open your eyes, confront the lies you believed for years, and call you to the king's table. This is not just a story, it is a mirror, and a map, and a message. By the end of this story, you will see yourself differently, not as the broken one, but as the chosen one. Stay tuned as we reveal the breathtaking journey of Mephibosheth, the crippled prince lifted from Lo-Debar to dine with the king. If you love expository Bible stories that strengthen your faith and showcase God's unfailing grace that restores what life has broken, make sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell. The palace was once filled with music and laughter. Mephibosheth learned to walk, holding the hands of palace guards. Jonathan lifted him high, calling him, "My little warrior." But everything changed on the day news came from Mount Gilboa. A messenger collapsed on the palace floor. "Saul, Jonathan, Abinadab, Malchishua, they're all dead." The royal household exploded with fear. Servants rushed, horses screamed, doors slammed. Treasury vaults were emptied, scrolls burned, weapons seized. A civil collapse in minutes. Mephibosheth cried out for his father, but Jonathan could no longer hear him. Mephibosheth's nurse clutched him tight, running down the palace steps. Behind them, Philistine war horns wailed. Her foot slipped. She fell. He fell with her. A sickening crack. His legs twisted unnaturally. He screamed a sound that haunted him for years. He would never walk again. Unknown historical insight. Falls like this often shattered the growth plates in ancient children's bones, leading to lifelong deformity. It wasn't just a fall, it was the sound of a destiny breaking. The nurse, terrified of being executed along with Saul's family, tied Mephibosheth onto a donkey and fled into the night. The boy drifted in and out of consciousness as wolves howled, fires burned behind them. Philistine chariots raced across the horizon. The journey lasted days. By the time they reached safety, the child prince was limp, feverish, and silent. They had escaped the enemy, but not the consequences. Lo-Debar was a wasteland. No crops, no vineyards, no prophets, no kings, no hope. People only went there for one reason: to hide. Mephibosheth grew up learning to disappear, to shrink, to not draw attention, to accept that royalty was a past life. But the greatest wound was not in his feet. It was in his heart. Mephibosheth often asked, "Why won't my father come for me?" His nurse couldn't tell him that Jonathan was dead, so she lied. He's coming soon. Every night, Mephibosheth waited at the dusty doorway, hoping to see Jonathan's silhouette. Every night, he was disappointed. He grew to believe, I was abandoned because I am broken. This lie shaped everything. David, now king, often visited the spot where Jonathan died. He spoke to the wind. I will keep my promise to you. But years passed. Battles were won, nations subdued, prosperity increased. Still, David felt something was missing, a covenant undone, a promise waiting. One night, unable to sleep, Jonathan's last words replayed in his heart. Swear to me you will show kindness to my descendants. David sat upright. It was time. David summoned Ziba, Saul's former chief steward. Ziba came dressed elegantly, bowing deeply, masking ambition with humility. David asked, Is there anyone left in Saul's house? Ziba hesitated. He knew the existence of Mephibosheth threatened his control over Saul's lands. He wanted the prince to stay hidden forever, but he had no choice. There is one, a cripple, in Lo-Debar. He didn't even say his name, only his condition. The ground trembled as David's royal chariots thundered into Lo-Debar. Villagers scattered, doors slammed, women grabbed their children, royal soldiers dismounted, armored and intimidating. Mephibosheth's heart nearly stopped. They found me. David found me. I'm a dead man. But grace always looks terrifying when you misunderstand its intentions. Mephibosheth wasn't simply invited, he was taken. Carried from Lo-Debar against his fears. Torn from a place of safety that had become a prison. Taken to stand before a king he feared. But every mile closer to Jerusalem was a mile closer to the truth. The throne room was overwhelming. Gold pillars, harps playing softly, incense rising. Officials watching Mephibosheth was placed on the floor before David. He bowed low, a broken vessel before a mighty king. David called his name, Mephibosheth. The king knew his name. Mephibosheth whispered, I am your servant. David leaned forward. Do not fear. The same words angels speak when heaven is about to break into earth. Then the king spoke destiny-shaking words. I will show you kindness for Jonathan's sake. I will restore all the land of Saul to you. You will eat at my table continually. Mephibosheth could hardly breathe. Everything he thought he lost returned in a moment. Grace does not drip, it floods. At David's table sat princes, warriors, generals, David's sons, the mighty men, and now Mephibosheth, a cripple among champions. Yet when he sat, his broken legs were hidden by the tablecloth. Nobody saw what he could not fix. Grace covers what shame exposes. Ziba saw everything, and jealousy burned like poison. If Mephibosheth gained Saul's lands, Ziba lost authority. He began plotting, and he waited for the perfect moment. David's weakness. Absalom stole the hearts of Israel. A civil war erupted. David fled Jerusalem. The kingdom trembled. In chaos, opportunities rise. Ziba saw his chance. Ziba met David on the road with supplies. David asked, Where is Mephibosheth? Ziba bowed dramatically. He stayed in Jerusalem, hoping Israel will restore his grandfather's kingdom. A complete lie. But in the chaos, David acted swiftly. All that belonged to Mephibosheth is yours. Ziba smirked as he bowed. The serpent had struck. Mephibosheth never trimmed his beard, never washed his clothes, never cared for his feet. He mourned for David daily. People mocked him. Your Saul's crippled grandson, what loyalty can you offer? But a loyal heart is more powerful than strong legs. David returned to Jerusalem victorious. Mephibosheth rushed, carried by servants, to meet him. His neglected appearance stunned David. "Why didn't you come with me?" Mephibosheth told the truth. And then he said something that pierced David's soul. "Let Ziba have everything. I am glad the king has returned safely." He valued relationships over riches. David, emotionally exhausted, said, "Divide the land." But Mephibosheth answered, "Take it all. I only want the king." David saw Jonathan's heart in him. Everything Ziba schemed for meant nothing. Ziba got land, but he never got what mattered: Mephibosheth's seat at the king's table. Land can shift, wealth can change hands, but the relationship with the king is unshakable. Mephibosheth had a son, Micah. Generations later, Jewish historians recorded that the descendants of Mephibosheth became known for humility, worship, and devotion to God. Grace builds legacies. Lo-Debar symbolizes depression, emotional paralysis, spiritual drought, the place where dreams die, the room of silent suffering. Everyone has lived in Lo-Debar, but Mephibosheth's story proves God knows how to find you there. Mephibosheth was carried by the nurse, by servants, by messengers, by the king's love, just like us. We do not walk into salvation. We are carried. We are broken by the fall, hiding from God, afraid of judgment. And Jesus says, "Fear not, I will show you kindness." He restores inheritance. He calls us sons. He brings us to his table. The gospel in one story. Ziba represents the accuser. Satan lies about us to the king. But grace speaks louder. Grace always outlives lies. Always. The table remains. Mephibosheth lived the rest of his days, not as a crippled exile, but as a son of the king. This is our story. Broken yet invited. Unworthy yet chosen. Crippled yet carried. Forgotten by men yet remembered by God. Grace finds us. Grace restores us. Grace seats us. Grace keeps us. Forever. Life lessons from Mephibosheth's story. Your weakness is not a disqualification. It's a doorway to grace. God remembers promises made to your ancestors. The king seeks you even when you are hiding from him. Some people benefit from your absence, but God will expose lies. Grace doesn't just forgive, it restores everything you lost. Before you leave, take a moment to reflect on these thought-provoking questions and share your thoughts in the comment section. What fall, what moment of pain is still shaping the way you see yourself today? And what would happen if you allowed the king to rewrite the story that trauma tried to write? Are you still hiding in your own Lo-Debar because you believe you are too broken for God to use? What if the very thing you think disqualifies you is the very thing God wants to redeem? If this story moved your spirit, don't leave without joining our community. Subscribe to stay connected and strengthen your faith with weekly Bible stories. Like this video so more people battling loneliness can encounter God's love and hope. Drop a comment. I am leaving Lo-Debar. Share this message with someone who needs the touch of God's grace. Your engagement empowers us to reach lives across the world with His word.